Okay, that's as good as it's going to get tonight. So welcome to your KIN 425 lecture for Wednesday, March 10th. In this small video, I just want to go over your two assignments that are coming up. So these are the two group assignments. One is this group presentation of two journal articles. Your group sizes are a little bit larger. So we're looking at the course outline that I posted at the start of the year. So this first group assignment involves presentation of two journal articles. I gave you a detailed explanation on this earlier in the course. The papers have to be on one of the special topics that's covered during this second half of the course. So you can see the topics: fatigue during exercise, sex differences, sedentary behavior, exercise in hot and cold environments, exercise at different atmospheric pressures for altitude or diving. These presentations, the dates have changed a little bit. So this is the revised course outline. You can see the dates are highlighted with all the names of the groups and the group members. So March 22nd, 29th, and 31st, there's two groups that are going on each of those days for those journal article presentations. Reminder that you don't need to have a formal PowerPoint presentation for these journal article presentations. You do need to select two journal articles from the library that are recent. I gave out a detailed explanation and a rubric that I posted earlier in the course on this assignment. So these journal articles have to be on a related topic. There's two of them you have to present. You don't need any kind of PowerPoint or anything. Each of your group members should speak during the presentations, and you should prepare a summary of the journal articles for your classmates before you present these journal articles. The content of these journal articles will form a multiple choice section on your final exam. So going back to your group assignments here, you can see there's a group term paper that's worth a total of 30% of your final mark. The paper itself is worth 20% of the mark, so that's the written paper. Has to be about 10 pages in length, double spaced. You need to do a group presentation on the second and third last day of the class, and that's worth 5% of your mark. So you can see, if you go back to the course outline, these are scheduled for the 5th and the 7th of April. So those are presentations that will be on the topic that you choose for your group term paper. So this group term paper, what is it on? It should be on the same topic that you presented your journal articles on, except it's going to be an expanded version of those journal articles, providing more of a background and more of a literature review, especially with regards to the physiology in the topic that you choose. For example, let's say for the topic of fatigue, if you chose say that there's a nutritional supplement, sodium bicarbonate, that's used to help with very high intensity exercise that produces a lot of lactic acid. So sodium bicarbonate is thought to work by buffering acidosis that's produced during exercise. And you can choose two journal articles on, say, how it affects sprint performance in hockey players. And then you can do your two journal article presentations on that. And then your written paper could be more of a general overview of how sodium bicarbonate works. The types of fatigue that you'd observe in hockey players, how sodium bicarbonate might work in hockey players. So a little bit beyond just the two journal articles that you presented. Another example could be if you chose the topic of exercise at altitude. You might, for your journal article presentations, present two journal articles on how high altitude training camps might help endurance athletes. And then your term paper could be just on the general topic of, whether high altitude exposure actually helps endurance athletes and kind of the history behind that. So with the group term paper, it's more of an expansion on the 2 journal articles that you present. So when you read your 2 journal articles, they're going to have an extensive background in the introduction. You could use that background introduction, for a large part of your group term paper, just going into more detail on the topic that you choose. Again, I want you to focus on physiology. It's 10 pages, double spaced, so I'm not really looking for quantity, I'm more looking for quality. So if you can really focus on the physiology, that would give you a higher mark. Your term presentation is worth 5% of your mark. So that's on the second and third last day of the course. And then you can see there's 5% of your mark is a group evaluation. So the rest of your group members will give you an evaluation mark out of 5 to kind of judge how you contributed to the group during your 2 assignments. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, the explanation for your 2 upcoming group assignments.